Howdy folks, Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. This is going to be my official review of Sword Coast Legends. We are inside at the welcome screen here, and my review is going to be for the single player story campaign only. I'm not going to get into the dungeon master part of it and all that. This is strictly about the single player story campaign. So I figured I would do my review while we're doing some in-game footage here, because it's better than you looking at my stupid face while I'm talking. So it gives you something to look at instead of me. So I'm level 5 now, and I have played about 12 hours, and I figure that's probably, I've experienced enough of the game to give it a full review. And we're going to continue on. And so now, to start off, a couple of disclaimers. One, there really is two ways of looking at this particular game. If you're looking for an absolute true successor to either Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dales, Planescape Torrent, Neverwinter Nights, if you're looking for a true successor to any of those games, this is not it. Because this does have the D&D, the Dungeons and Dragons franchise name on it, I have to make that disclaimer, because a lot of people, including myself, thought that that's what this was going to be. It was going to be a spiritual successor to those games. It does have D&D elements in it. However, it is not a true D&D, computer D&D experience, in my opinion. It has references. It has Forgotten Realms. It has the fact that you have a party of characters, but that's about it. That's D&D related. The skill trees, as we will see here, these have nothing to do with 5th edition D&D. This is a skill. These are skill trees, like you would have in, say, World of Warcraft or something like that. It has the names of, Arcane Trickster and that type of thing, but it does not have the same skills and everything as you get in 5th edition D&D, which this, and it doesn't say that anywhere that I can see. It doesn't say that it uses 5th edition rules, because it doesn't. But it is an online computer role-playing game, and you get a party of characters. Now, you only get to make one of your party, your main character. These other are all computer generated, or not, I shouldn't say generated, but they're existing NPCs that you get to add to your party. And then once you have them, you can do a certain amount of customization to them. So, like, say this one here, I can give her different gear and that type of thing, and then when I level and I get some points here for ability scores, I can add those and change them, and so, or that type of thing. But I did not get to roll her from scratch and pick how she looks and name her and do her initial abilities and skills and all. That was all done beforehand by the programmers. So we're going to just tool around here. We are in the slums of Luskan right now, and I'll just tool around while I'm giving my review.
If you insist.
So, like I was saying, this is not a true successor. However, it does have all the standard computer role-playing game elements to it. You've got your party of characters. You've got your ability to pause like that during combat and everything, and then tell each character what you want them to do by picking down here, whether it's a potion or an ability or whatnot. Um, you do have that ability, and then you can hit unpause and then let it do what it's going to do. You have your quests over here, your mini map. I mean, it's your standard computer role-playing game set in the D&D world of Forgotten Realms.
If I must.
And
Fine.
I'm pretty happy with the graphics. The graphics look pretty nice for a isometric view game. Um, I don't have great expectations for isometric games because I mean, you can zoom in a little bit here, and you can kind of you can't really see your characters too well.
If you insist.
You can't really see your characters too well when you spin around. It's hard to get a good view of them. You can by doing this, of course, and then you can do that. So that leads me to the UI, which actually I'm pretty happy with. The way everything's laid out and everything, it works fairly well. You can switch weapon sets right here. You can obviously see all your quests, and you can go in here, and I do like the fact that they show you can read your completed quest. Not all games that I've ever played give you that option. Sometimes when you've completed them, they're just gone, and sometimes it's when you haven't played for a while and you want to kind of remember, well, did I do that quest, or did I finish that quest, or whatever. You can go back here and you can read what you've completed and so forth. And there's a bestiary and locations. It gives you locations, so you kind of have like a journal here, and characters, of course, and deities and all that type of thing. So from that standpoint, it gives you quite a bit. This on the map, I'm not really sure. I don't really like the way they've done the map too well, because when you pull it up like this, even if you've explored the whole thing and opened the whole map, I cannot pull this way to see down here. In other words, I have to physically move my characters down here to see this part of the map. And once I have the feeling that once I have the preference that when I have explored the whole thing, I should just be able to grab and adjust this and be able to see the whole thing. You can't do that, and that may come at a later patch. I don't know. It just was one of those things that I thought was it's just a little nitpicky thing, not a big deal. You go to session here, and it shows your pre-generated characters. Now, if I had this set to public, people could join, and it just arbitrarily. So if someone, like yesterday, that happened to me. One of you guys who's probably watching this, one of my viewers decided to jump in, who's on my friends list, decided to jump in and into the game I was playing, and it arbitrarily knocked one of these. I think it was my healer. It knocked my healer out of the party, and he was playing a wizard, the one that joined. So then all of a sudden I didn't have a healer because it just arbitrarily dumps somebody, And then you can rearrange things. It gives you the opportunity to. It'll say, "Here's your new party. Do you accept it or whatever?" And I could have grabbed my healer and put her back in, but I would have had to get rid of one of my other characters here. So I just told him. I said, hey, I prefer to do the story part solo, and he graciously said, okay, no problem. And I will probably, once I'm done with the solo story, then I can go back and do multiplayer.
Very well.
Dungeon crawls, whatever. I can do some DM stuff and whatnot.
If I must.
So having said all of that, my official review is that it is a fun game. It is a fun, addicting game. If you were absolutely dead set that you had to have a true D&D experience, computer, experience like Neverwinter Nights, let's say, you're going to be disappointed. If you can put that aside and just play it for what it is, it's a good game. It's a fun game. It's a good game. It's, in my opinion, it's well done. I haven't run into a lot of bugs. I've run into a few, not very many, and a few little nitpicky things like what I was saying about the map and all that. But other than that, I'm really enjoying the game. I can't wait to get home from work so I can play it some more. So that tells me that I'm enjoying it.
Very well.
And there's another mausoleum here. I can attack the gravestones, and I get grave dust. Let's see.
If I must.
So, found a secret. A little secret there. It helps to always have if you're playing with
Fine.
With a rogue and or anybody that has the search function,
I suppose
you should always have it on, because there's a lot of stuff to find. Why is that not attacking that?
If I must. Fine.
No,
I suppose.
See, there's a little pathing issue right there. There we go. That was a little pathing issue. Let's see here. I want to see this. So these monument plaques, they can just be red. That's all that is. Okay. And I'm not going in that mausoleum right now. Okay.
If you insist. Very well.
Loose grave marker. Here we go. Let's make sure it's on my thief. Okay. Sometimes when you discover a secret chamber or an item that is normally hidden, and you go up to it, it will end up being trapped. And so it's best to use your...
upon you.
There we go. He didn't last very long.
Well done.
I don't know how much of that grave dust I need, but I do need... I guess I'm just missing a black candle now for this quest here.
If I must.
You can spin the camera around. I like that. You can move the camera around. You can spin it with your keys on your keyboard. Or you can use the mouse, which is nice. So
Fine.
that is another irritant, is that every time that you move, your character will speak.
I suppose, if you insist. If I must. Fine. I suppose.
So as you can see, that can get a little old real quick.
Your deaths will come swiftly.
Yeah, you're done.
There we go.
Oh, obliteration.
Good fight.
Very well.
Here they come.
If I must.
Lady of Dreams, I beseech you. Take this.
Fine. I suppose.
There's something else here.
If you insist. Very well. If I must.
Why are people not following me? There we go. I'll find out what that is. Oh, potion of restoration. Okay.
Fine.
So
I suppose.
that gives you
If you insist.
an idea. If you watched my other video, my other in-game footage video, this is nothing new. But I figured I would do my review this way. And I would like to know
Very well.
in the comments what your feelings are on the game.
Struck a nail on that one.
Yeah, see,
I think that was the last one.
we're getting stronger, so we are
I'm here to
definitely
help.
uh,
As you wish.
able to obliterate more things quickly. One of the things that I do like about the AI is that they will use all of their abilities, and they use them quite intelligently. They don't just waste them. They use them when they're needed,
Yes,
uh, and I
of
like the way
course.
that the AI is handled. So from an AI
Sure.
standpoint, so let's count this out here. Let's say AI. I like the AI. I like the user interface. I like the graphics. I'm okay with the graphics. Um, the gameplay, like the combat and everything, I don't really have any problems with that. Uh, I I do have a little bit of a problem with the way that they did uh, the skill trees and all, as opposed to how the progression is done in paper and pencil D&D. But again, that's if you can look past that, then it won't be an issue for you. Um, the inventory system is very user friendly. You just click on your character here, and then you can just uh, you know uh, uh, um, put anything on that you need to, equip anything that you need to. For instance, let's see if there's a belt here because he's not wearing a belt. Of course, there's no belt. Um, but like, let's say I wanted to change this, I just go like that, and it changes it. So puts it back, and then you have the standard, being able to sell everything, and you can sort everything this way. You get your quest items and consumables, armor, weapons. So anyway, I think that'll do it for the
As you
review.
wish.
I would say that if I was to assign it a number, I would again go back to it being two different ways. If I was going to give this a review as a Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game, computer role-playing game, putting it in the same category with Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, that type of thing. If I was going to do it that way, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. If I do it comparing it to games like Dragon Age and Pillars of Eternity, those type of games, I would give it at least an 8. So there's your difference right there. You take the Dungeons and Dragons label off of the game completely, and this is just as good as Pillars of Eternity, in my opinion. And it's very similar. You just take the Dungeons and Dragons name off of it. And let's bump it up to an 8.5, strictly because it's in the Forgotten Realms world. Even without the Dungeons and Dragons name off, take the Dungeons and Dragons name off, but leave it in the Forgotten Realms, I bump it up to an 8.5 on my review. So there you go. I hope you guys, if you guys are playing it, I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'd like to hear your feedback. So in that case, that'll do it. We'll catch you on the flip side.